Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Kuwait Pilot channel and another stream. Today, based on popular demand, we are going to be flying the iniBuilds A350 service from Doha International to Kuwait International Airport, Kuwait Pilot's home airport. I want to welcome all of you guys in chat. We have today with us my very dear friend Dougal McTavish. Welcome. Glad to have you with us this evening. My dear friend Rand Cooley, welcome. Mr. Valero, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us this evening. Flyby, good afternoon, my friend. Hello, Andre. Welcome. Glad to have you with us today. Taurus 57, welcome aboard. Direct to Sim. Jesse Dones, welcome aboard. Glad to have here is 7.3. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. We have also 4... Sex Carm 352. Sorry if I messed up your handle there. Glad to have you guys with me this evening. And the iniBuilds has received an update, and I've done one test flight in the aircraft, which seems to be running very, very well at this point in time. We are also using today FS traffic by Just Flight and the iniBuilds Doha International, as well as Doha City. And we can see here there is a Qatar Airlines taxiing on the runway. I really am liking FS traffic, very lightweight AI traffic program. Well, it's not really AI, but I mean, it's not AI in the artificial intelligence sense, but it is a program that works very well. I have had this program for a very long time. I did not ever use it for 2020, but when the opportunity presented itself, I decided to download it and try it out for 2024. And I have to say that I'm quite happy with its performance and happy with what it does and how it's set up, which is very, very easy. All you need to do is install the software, start your sim, and if you select the departure and arrival airports from the main menu, then you will have the traffic already set up for the departure and arrival airports. Also today, much to my surprise, lossless scaling seems to be a much better option for frame generation in MSFS 2024, and that's something that we will talk about a little bit during the stream. Maybe I'll give you, and I will be making a video on it. A quick note for all of you guys: I will be streaming again on Thursday, and then I will be off to the UK for about a week. So I will be absent from streaming for a week, but I will create a video for you guys, and I will release it midweek next week. So that you guys can, can enjoy it, and it will more than likely be something related to the settings for MSFS. So very quickly, let's take a quick look at this scenery by iniBuilds, and I think it's better than the MXI Designs Doha International. I think this is a much better airport. I do like it a lot, and it's quite detailed as well. Normally iniBuilds, they create very, very detailed scenery, and this one is not an exception. Again, they've got all the interiors, they've got the correct, I love the fact that they have the Arabic text written properly, and it's not like, written left to right and you see the letters kind of disconnected. So this is done very, very well by iniBuilds, and you can see here again, this is probably my favorite area in the entire airport is this here, the beautiful garden here that they've created. And this is true to life, by the way. Hamad International does have this area, and it's very, very nice. It's a very large airport, so you may not have come across this area if you're in a different gate, but if you get the chance, do visit it if you're ever at Hamad International. So a very, very nice rendition of the airport, and of course we are currently situated, again, you can see this lovely aircraft taxiing there. Let's go a bit closer there. Again, in terms of the actual model, I think it looks pretty good. There you go. Maybe the FSLTL models look slightly better, but actually this looks pretty good. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. So let's go back to our aircraft, and we are today flying the real world route of Qatar Airways in the A350. This is Qatar Airways flight 1070 or 1070. So with that, let's take a quick look at our flight plan here. And as you can see here, we are going to be departing runway 34 right today through the Tulu 2 Echo departure through the Tolop transition. We are going to be cruising at 28,000 feet, not a very long flight, to Kuwait, and arriving about 45 minutes later, runway 15 right through the Det3 Echo arrival. All right, so everything is look at how beautiful this scenery is here and how majestic the aircraft looks as well. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. Right, so without further ado, let's get things started here and let's power up the aircraft. Kuwait, how are you, Captain? I'm doing very well, Aviator. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us this evening. Stan still on his way back from FS Expo. Oh, yeah, he sent us some really nice pictures there on Discord. So, all right. So, first thing first, we are... Ooh, let me make sure the levers are good here. And let me increase the volume there on my side. All right, so we're going to make sure that the engine mode selector is in the normal position. Both engine switches are off. Idle D10 on the thrust levers. And the landing gear is down. And, it is down now. It wasn't down on my throttle quadrant. So, beg your pardon, on my yoke. So, we're going to come up here. We're going to make sure both wiper switches are in the off position. And then we're going to come here all the way to the top. And we're going to make sure that the battery 1 and battery 2 have more than 25 volts. Emergency batteries are also powered. And everything looks good here. So, we are good to turn on the batteries and the external power. So, battery 1... battery emergency 2, and battery 2 are all on. And external power 2 is on. And external power 1 is on. And now you can hear all the sounds there in the background. The aircraft is starting up. Excellent. Crew supply is on. That's the oxygen crew supply. And if you don't click this, by the way, you'll not be able to test the oxygen here. So this needs to be turned on before you can do that. Right, we are going to also turn on ground control, and we are going to turn the adheres to nav mode. There we go. Next, we're going to come here and arm the emergency lights. We're going to put the no mobile on auto, no smoking on, and fasten seatbelt sign is on. We're going to make sure that the strobe light is on auto. And we have the nav light set to 1, which means that the pilot flying is the captain. And in Airbus, if you switch this to nav 2, it means that the co-pilot is the captain flying, or the pilot flying the aircraft. Right, let's move up here, and we're going to turn on our fuel pumps. And we're going to do the fire test here real quick. Now, there we go. So we have our ding there. And everything else here looks good. There are no whites. Again, Airbus philosophy here. So we're going to make sure there are no white lights. Okay. That said, now we're going to go to the electronic flight bag and set the aircraft from the electronic flight bag. So first we're going to go to flight ops here, and we're going to say import from SimBrief. And as you can see, we are Qatar Airways 1070. And we are today flying from Doha International to Kuwait International. Perfect. Next, we're going to go to the flight ops menu. We're going to go to the load sheet. We're going to do a SimBrief import. And now the zero fuel weight and fuel has been updated. We're going to click here to set the zero fuel, which is now done. And we have all the passengers. And we're going to also click here and say instant refuel. And now we're just going to wait until the fuel. All right, so fuel is loading. The fuel is now complete. I will do the passenger unloading through GSX at our destination, but just in the interest of time, you know, we'll do this here as an instant board and refuel. Perfect. If we go now to the operational flight plan, we should be able to get our SimBrief flight plan here. So that is cool. We're going to set this here to our flight. The flight path is what we're going to need. And with that, now we can go to the FMS and start setting up our flight plan. Okay, so we are going to go to init, and from init we're going to again request the company flight plan and plan received. So we're going to click here again and say insert, and once we do that, you'll see that we have all the data including the cost index. We're going to go ahead and request the winds as well for the flight. It's been a very, very hot day here in Kuwait today. So we're going to say insert, and that will insert our company, the winds for our flight. Right, let's go to the flight plan real quick here, and we're going to select the departure, which is through runway 34 right. And if we look here, it's going to be through the Tulip 2 Echo. So we are going to click here on the SID Tulip 3 Echo. I think we're going to need to move this down. Why don't we have the Tulip 3 Echo? I have only the 2 Echo. Ah, it is the 2 Echo. All right, so this is the one here. I don't think it was selected. All right, let me move this down. There we go. And now we have the correct standard instrument departure, or SID, selected. Insert and insert. And next we're going to go to our arrival airport, which is Kuwait International. And today we are arriving through runway 15 right. Okay, so runway 15 right. And that, by the way, I love the fact that we're going to arrive through runway 15 right, because that SID, that star, will make us do a turn towards Kuwait City from the seaside, with the northern side of Kuwait City, which is a beautiful approach. And we will have Kuwait City to our left, I believe. We'll be able to see the Hamra Tower and Kuwait Towers on our way to the airport. Very, very nice approach. Okay, so we are going to select the ILS Yankee for 15 right. We'll check that in a minute. So let's see here, the Det3 Echo, that's the one. And let's see, Det3 Echo, yes, indeed. And let's just take a quick look at Navigraph charts and see if there is, so the 15 right Yankee is the one that we've selected. And if we look here, we'll see Evita is the transition. So let's go ahead and select that. Iveta. All right, and temporary flight plan, and we're going to insert that. And next we can take a quick look here at the flight plan to make sure there are no discontinuities, which there aren't. Perfect. Okay, so we're done with the flight plan. Let's now go to the fuel and load. Now we can just simply go and do the following. So if you click here and hit enter, it will automatically set this from your whatever value is in the AFB, and we're going to do that as well. We're going to click here on the block fuel and hit enter. Now the number of passengers is something that again we can find here in our SimBrief flight plan. We have 205 passengers on board. So we're going to click here and say 205 and enter that. And now we have... All right, here's the announcement now. I wanted to fly in Airbus someday and visit the cockpit in real life, but airlines who use Airbus is expensive. Yeah, they are expensive. All right, so that's the cabin. Maybe it's a bit too loud, isn't it? Okay. All right, so here's the... We can now do the performance. Now for performance, we can come back here to the electronic flight bag. We're going to go to takeoff performance. We're going to sync from FMS. And now you can see that we have all the information synced from the FMS. We are going to click here also to sync the winds. So the wind is 100, I suppose, 7 knots. Outside temperature 36 Celsius in Qatar today. The altimeter is 902. Runway condition is dry, and everything else set. So we have air conditioning on for takeoff. Obviously, you know what? We at 36, the passengers are sweating. So let's go ahead and start the APU there to have the air conditioning system. And now we can click here and say compute. And now we have our speeds. We have 41, 48, 52 for V1, V rotate, and V2 respectively. Right, we're going to send it to the FMS. And coming here to the FMS now, if we go to perf, you'll see that we have the speed copied from the EFB. All we need to do is say confirm the speeds. And now we have everything set up here, and it looks like we do have alignment as well, which is cool. Excellent. So we're going to set this FMC on the flight plan, and I'm going to come here to the active. We're going to go to, let's see. We're going to go to the systems here. We're going to turn on the weather radar, and we're also going to put the transponder mode to auto. And this will set everything up for us automatically. We're going to leave this, though, on FMS2. We're going to put this on perf, and we'll leave this on the flight plan. Perfect. By the way, there is a full checklist here that you can use. So if you go down here, let me take a quick look here. Where did I find it yesterday? First, let me put the constraint on. I'm going to set the altimeter. And then if we come down here, and there we go. You have a full checklist here. So we have the cockpit preparation. Gear pins and covers are removed. The fuel quantity is set. And the barrow is set on both sides. The checklist is complete. And we can go again now for the checklist and go to the before. Oops. We'll go to the before start checklist. Parking brake is set. Takeoff speeds and thrust are set. Slides are armed. And we need to turn on the beacon light. So we're going to come here and turn on the beacon light on. And now we have nose wheel steering memo, and that is checked now. And we are ready to go. We're going to set this on arc. There we go. As a matter of fact, let's put this on arc, and let's zoom in here so we can again take a look at this really nice a nice feature in the A380 and in the A350, which gives you a really nice map of the airport. So airport map loading, it looks like. It's taking a little bit more than usual, but there we go. Now we have it. And we can zoom out a little bit, and that's us here. And you can see there is a little sign there on the, or highlighted. This is the, here, we can see it here. This is the runway, the runway 34 right, our departure runway. So all is good here, and we can now start the push and start from our position. We're going to turn on the APU bleed, and from that we can now turn off the external power. So external power 1 and 2 are now off. Now we can hear the packs, and I'm sure that the passengers are very happy to have the air conditioning working at 36 Celsius with very, very intense humidity in Doha. The temperatures in Kuwait today were very high, reaching I think 48 Celsius. And we're still, in June, last day of June. Well, so let's go to GSX. First, let me come to the ground menu here, and we're going to remove the chocks and the GPU. And by the way, there's a really nice feature. It says cold weather accumulation, and this slider, it will adjust itself based on the outside temperature, and it will actually simulate icing on the aircraft. So let's prepare for pushback and departure. And now we have the truck in place. And everything else is looking pretty good. Excellent. Right, we are going to put the terrain on this side. And we'll set this to 40 nautical miles. Let's put this also on arc. There we go. And we're going to set our altitude to 28,000 feet.
We are ready for pushback.
And just, again, if you want to test the oxygen, you can do so here. And close the cover. And now everything's been tested. And ready for our flight to Kuwait. Kuwait, are you flying with cabin or without cabin? Yes, with cabin.
Bypass pin inserted.
So if I go here, guys want to see the cabin, looks like. So there you go. This is your first class. Very, very nicely done cabin. Really very nice. And very authentic, by the way, as well.
Locking gear.
Very nice indeed. So this is first class Qatar Airways. And then you have the business class as well, right over there. And then you have the economy class. This is actually very, very authentic. They've really nailed this. It looks exactly like the actual Qatar Airways business class, first class, and the economy class in the back as well. So we'll click there. And we'll take a quick look. Very, very nice. So we're going to do nose to the right.
Release parking brakes, please.
All right.
Commencing push. All engines clear.
All right. So let's go and take a look at the economy class real quick. And then we'll go back to the cockpit and start the engines. Here's again economy class. As you can see, very, very authentic, very accurate. The seating and everything is just done very, very well. I don't think the logo is right, though. This logo is definitely not right. It's not the Qatar Airways logo. Okay. So let's go ahead and put the engine to ignition start. You can see that the packs turned off automatically. Right, we're ready to start. So let's go to start with engine number 2. And you have the safety announcement there playing in the background. You can always, by the way, reduce the sound volume by going to options and then volume control. And you have announcement volume there. Put this down a little bit. And interior engine volume. We'll bring this down a little bit. There we go. Very nice looking aircraft. Listen to the engine sounds, guys. Very nice. Do you use FS Realistic? No, I'm not using FS Realistic. I'm not even sure if it's compatible with 2024 yet, but no, I'm not using it. Are you tripling your FPS with lossless? Yes, sir, I am. Very nice engine sounds. Let me show you here real quick. So this is what I have. I have multiplier 3, and it works much, much better, guys. Much more stable than the frame generation of Microsoft Flight Sim. So, again, I've even noticed that the stuttering is less with this specific aircraft. I've done tests with the default Cessna, and I tell you, lossless scaling at $7 does a much better job than the frame generation of the 4090. So, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and start engine number 1. And we'll wait for the... ground crew to clear and for the second engine to stabilize. All right, perfect. Let's take a look here. It wants us to confirm a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
All right.
Unlocking gear.
So now one of the things I do like about FS Traffic by Just Flight is that it's very simple to set up. It doesn't really affect performance that much. What I do not like about it is that it will only generate traffic to and from the departure and destination airports. So no other traffic will be generated. So if you, for example, fly, you can add the alternate as well. But if you're just doing a casual flying and fly into different airports, you will not see the traffic.
Tow truck disconnected.
There's
Bypass
another
pin removed.
Qatar Airways there.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
And we have a good start here. All right, so the cabin. All right, so we need to set things up here. So we're going to set the auto brake to rejected takeoff. We're going to set flaps 1. If we go back here to the takeoff performance. So flaps 1. So let's set flaps 1. Oop, 1. And let's go very quickly to... Why is it not going to... Ah. There we go. We caught it at the very end. There's an aircraft flying over there. Again, very nice. Very nice flap sounds. And they are very, very accurate as well. So very lovely sounds on this aircraft. Okay. So flaps are set. Speed brake is armed. And cabin. Now for cabin ready, you need to hit this purse. This is purser. So if we click that once, then you can see that the cabin is ready. You see it in green. And finally, we do the takeoff config, which we need to do. Let's put this back to APU bleed off. APU master is off. And nose aligned to taxi. And everything now is good here. And we're going to release the parking brake. Parking brake is released. And let's give it a little power here. All right, there we go. And takeoff config, we're going to click here to check that. There we go. And it's all done. And this is the before start. Checklist is complete. We can go now to the checklist is complete. And we can go here to the taxi checklist. Flap settings are set. Radar is already on. And we can take off config test is complete. Right, I think it wants us to test this again. There we go. So, and the takeoff checklist is complete. The taxi checklist is complete, beg your pardon. All right, all good here. Yeah, it looks like they've teased the A340 at FS Expo, and I hope that when they do develop the A340, that they will really take performance into consideration, because this aircraft is really, really heavy on performance. All right, here's our turn. But with lossless scaling, I have found that it is much smoother and gives better FPS at 3 times. So with frame generation, with this aircraft, I get near the hundreds. So 105, 102, something like that. With lossless scaling at 3 times, I get about 120. So much better than the internal or the native frame generation of Microsoft Flight Sim. So highly recommend the lossless scaling.
Traffic.
Right. Was complaining
Clear
because of that.
Conflict.
Yeah, obviously. All right, we're coming up here to our turn. Let's take a quick look at the outside. And just really beautiful aircraft. Very nice. All right. And here is our turn. Very nice sounds overall on the iniBuilds A350. Again, I'm not gonna, pick on certain sounds, but overall, I think it's a very well developed aircraft, quite fun to fly as well. And I can see that with the latest changes, I think flying the aircraft is a lot better than it was when it was first released. All right, so strobes on, landing lights on, nose to takeoff. And I think everything else is set here. We're good to go. Let me change this now that we are... There we go. We're going to put this on 40 and change it a little later. Right, here we go. That's our turn. Very, very nice texture work there on the panels. And we are now lining up. Runway 34. All right, let me reset my view here. And center line. We are good to go. Okay. Let's take it to 50%. Nice sounds. Parking released. Manflex 72, SRS and runway. Airspeed alive. 80 knots, check.
V1.
Rotate. Little bit artifacts there with lossless scaling. Positive rate. Gear up. Much, much better handling of the aircraft. And look at the, you can see, you just saw the air condensation there. Looks really good. All right, let's set the climb thrust and autopilot 1. There's an altitude restriction. Right, there's a restriction at 4,000. And we can now turn flaps 1. We're going to disarm the speed brakes. Which A350 is better, X-Plane or MSFS 2024? Well, at this point in time, the iniBuilds aircraft is definitely much better than the A350 X-Plane. That aircraft is not bad, but it's really, really dated, guys. Really dated. All right. So if we go to... which one I wanted to show you? There you go. That's the nice wing view there. Very, very nice. And that's the other one overlooking the city. As you can see here, I've also purchased the Doha city, which is, it's nice, you know, if you're gonna come often to Qatar in the sim, it really does make sense that you get the Qatar city. It does look nice coming into Doha or departing from Doha. So yeah, very, very nice. I do like iniBuilds scenery. I think they develop very good scenery. Often though, Their scenery causes stutters, especially in MSFS 2020. But this specific airport is really very well done by iniBuilds. I really like it. If you are interested in the scenery that we are using in today's stream, you can always type !scenery. And with that, let's head back to the cockpit, see what's going on here. All is good. We're still at 4,000. And once we clear this waypoint here, Dembo, then we should start the climb again. Oh, we forgot our clock. Which is your favorite A350 livery? I really like the Cathay Pacific livery on the A350. I wonder how some humans doesn't love planes or space. Yeah, that beats me too. Looking good here, and again we're flying through a restriction. And the nice thing is, when you fly, when you start the flight, we're actually still daylight, but so you'll not see the nice lighting into the cabin. But maybe I'll show you that once we are at Kuwait. But again, I really like the entire cabin here, that the branding that they've done at iniBuilds there with the cabins. They are very, very nice, very authentic, with the exception of the logo on the economy seat, which I believe is like a Singapore airline logo. But other than that, I think it looks really, really good. Very, very detailed as well. And you have the cabin, there you have cabin number 2 and the aisle seat, and it's really, really nice that they've gone through the trouble of simulating all of this. Now, this is not something that I normally would I almost never use the cabin. I don't go to the passenger cabin. Right, we're off the restriction now, and we're going to continue our climb to our cruise altitude of 28,000 feet. So we're going to arrive around nighttime in Kuwait City. It's already very dark here in Kuwait, but I decided to fly in real weather, but not real time, so that we can enjoy the scenery there at Doha as we departed. Right, well, it's looking good here. And in a second there, we'll set our fixes. And we can actually do it now if we want. This is a Singapore airline cabin. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it does have the Qatar Airways logo, though. I did purchase the cabin pack. I don't know really what it does, but actually it's free. Sorry. There is 2 cabin packs which I downloaded from the iniBuild store, but I'm not really sure what they do. So, yeah. The thing I wonder, explain 12 RMSFS, which one is better if we talk about performance. Performance-wise, I would say that X-Plane 12 is a more stable sim. That is a fact. It is far more stable. I almost never get crashes with X-Plane. It's pretty much set and forget. But yeah, with there are just way too many things with MSFS that can go wrong, that can crash your sim or cause issues and stuttering. Hi guys, back from FS Expo after unplanned 12-hour travel day. Oh, welcome back. How was FS Expo? I hope you had a good time. Stan here, have no idea why my handle changed. Oh, Stan, how are you, my friend? I think you can go and change it. It's just YouTube's been doing some really strange things lately. Delta TriStar, hi. Do you turn off frame gen in MSFS and only use LS? I noticed smoother performance with NVIDIA flight generation and LS, but also use LS in auto mode instead of fixed mode. I am using the frame generation is completely off. Let's turn off our lights and let's release the passengers here. So yeah, I am using it in fixed mode, but without the frame generation. and it's very, very smooth. I really like it. It works much better than the frame generation, quite honestly. I'll do a video on that, and I'll do the different combinations there, and we'll see how things work. Does this aircraft automatically climb after the constraint? Yes. If you have it in nav mode, then yes, it will definitely fly automatically out of the constraints, and on the descent as well. If you fly, of course, if you do an open descent or an open climb, then the aircraft will not respect any constraints. It will just fly all the way to the dialed altitude. But if you do a managed climb, then it will stop at every constraint, and a managed descent, it will also stop at every altitude that is in your constraints here. But it will automatically start the descent. It will automatically descend and climb after a constraint, if it's in managed mode, of course. Thought we had a new mod. Welcome back, Stan. I hope you had a good time, my friend. And I think you can change your handle from the settings, Stan. So yeah, it's all right. So 12,000. All right, let's go ahead and set Barrow to standard. It's done. All right. So now, what we can do, folks, is the following. We're going to go and set our arrival data for Kuwait. So I'm going to go here to the approach. And we're going to take a quick look here at the wind data. All right, so if I go to weather, and the weather right now is 40 Celsius, 8 degrees cooler than it was yesterday, 177. So let's do that. Let's see, 170. And no, we don't want you. And 170, enter, and then we'll put 7 here. Excellent. Outside temperature is 40 Celsius at Kuwait International. That's really hot, by the way, considering it's 7 past. It's, what is it? It's 8:42 p.m. and the temperature is 40 Celsius. So you guys can only imagine how hot is it in Kuwait. Morning, all right, 9er2, so 9er2, enter that, and it's the ILS 15 right Yankee, and let's see here, Cat 2, all right, so 100, there we go, enter that, perfect. And the other thing I want to do is I want to add our fixes. Again, this is for situational awareness. So we're going to come here to flight info. We're going to click here. We're going to go to the fix information. The ident is OKKK15 right, and enter. And then the radial is going to be 152. So we're going to click here and go 152, enter, and the radius is 10 nautical miles, and enter that. Perfect. And now we'll have our beautiful 10 nautical mile ring, and let's go ahead and create another one at 20 nautical miles. So again, we're going to repeat the steps, OKKK, enter, and the radial is 152, enter, and the radius here is 20 nautical miles, and enter. Perfect. So now we have set our fixes, and if we go to the flight plan here, and we go to plan, all right, and now we can cycle through this. All right, so let me cycle through, and now you can see the 2 rings that we've created. This is the 20 nautical mile ring. This is 10 nautical mile ring here that we've created, similar to our previous streams where we do this for situational awareness. Very, very useful. We'll put this on 80 nautical miles, and we continue our climb now, ladies and gents, to our final cruise altitude of 28,000 feet. Hello there, Yasim. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. It got up to 38 Celsius here recently, and I thought that was hot. Yeah, in August, normally we get temperatures above 60 Celsius, and in one of the in recent years, I did a test with my father, and well, I was able to actually cook an egg on the street. So yeah, it's very, very hot. Will you try the new medical event in this flight? Medical event? Well, I'm not sure what does it do. I'm not sure what's the difference, but I always put the radial. I don't think that you can create it in without putting the actual radial. Extended center line. Thank you very much, Dougal. You don't need the radial for range rings, only the radius. Thank you, Dougal. Thank you for that. I stand corrected. So if you go here to, where do you have it? A flight menu. So is it in situations? Ah. Alright, so bird strike, smoke in the cabin, unruly passenger, medical emergency. Simulate an in-cabin medical emergency. So what does it do, guys? Do you know? One such cannot be reset, and the flight must be restarted to reset. Oof. The maximum temperature recorded in Kuwait is 54 Celsius, which was recorded July. That is not correct. No, it's been hotter. Much, much hotter than 54 Celsius. It actually, on CNN, they've announced the hottest spot on Earth is Kuwait. And I assure you that it's far more than 54. Maybe that's what they announce, but it's much more than that. Yeah, 54 is crazy, but it gets a lot hotter than that. All right, so all is good here, and we continue the climb. We are flying over the Kingdom of Bahrain right here. Not a very interesting, route. But this is, again, the Kingdom of Bahrain. A very nice spot in the Gulf, Bahrain. The people of Bahrain are very, very nice people. Very cordial, very helpful, very down to earth. I haven't been to Bahrain in ages, but I lived in Bahrain for a short period of time. And it was a very memorable time in Bahrain. Oh, yeah. Right, all is looking good here. I hate the lens flare in Microsoft Flight Sim. I wish we can just turn it off. Has the highest, which has reached 99%. You should also try the Bahrain Sweet Halawa. Oh, of course, Halwa. Al-Halwa al-Bahrainiyya. Yes, of course. I've tried that. Shwaiter is probably the best Bahraini halwa that you can try. Shwaiter's been there for as long as I remember, since I was a little boy. And it is very, very high in calories, though. So not something that I will frequently try. But yeah. Swear the oldest and the best. Yes, absolutely. Very, very good. Are you from Bahrain, say Toga? For you to know Shwaiter, you must be from Bahrain. Or maybe you've lived there, I don't know. I know that the temperature, which is different than... Yeah, well, see, 54 is what has been recorded, maybe officially, but it's more than that, for sure. Yes, Bahraini, but living in Dubai. Oh, welcome aboard, my friend. Very glad to have you here. Yeah, when I was in Bahrain, I lived in Mahuz area, a very nice area, and I had my relatives live in Al Adliya. So it was a very, very memorable time, really. And I don't know how old you are, Saytoga, but there was a restaurant there. The famous kind of the McDonald's-like restaurant in Bahrain was Jasmi's. Jasmi's was like the spot for us back in the day. I don't know if it's still there or not, but in more recent years, I visited Bahrain and stayed at the... was it the Ritz that I stayed at? I think it was the Ritz, and it was pretty good. Very small country, Bahrain. Very humid, though. Jasmine's, of course. Oh, okay, you still remember it. All right, cool. Jasmine's is still there, and they are starting now in UAE. Oh, that's very good to know. I need to try it. They have some of the best burgers, I have to say. It was 49 when I was there during the unpleasantness. That's though when... Oh, wow. Jeez, that must have been very difficult, Dougal. Yeah. Right. So, we are at almost our cruise altitude. Things are looking very good. It's not a very long flight. Let me reduce the sounds because I think they're quite loud on the outside. So we're going to come to options and volume control. Let's see, exterior engine volume. Yeah, we're going to bring those down. And now we can take a look here. This is much better. I'm sure you can hear me a lot better now. So yeah, very nice. Again, what I don't like here is you can see the sky color, not very realistic, I have to say, and the sun is just horrible. The rendering of the sun compared to X-Plane is just really horrible. Not very well done. Yeah. But the aircraft itself, the iniBuilds, if I compare it to the initial days after release, and I look at it today, I think I am very pleased with the way that it performs. I think a lot of the issues that I've encountered in the first few days after release were addressed, and the aircraft is under constant development. So there was just an update during Expo, and it was a massive update with a lot of fixes. And so, yeah, very happy about that. So, all right, so all is good here. And we continue. We should, by the way, begin the descent. If I go back to climb, we are 7 nautical miles from top of climb, and shortly after that, we will begin the descent into Kuwait. They're a very short flight, but should be fun as well, and it should be sufficient for us to take a look at the A350. Now, I will stream again on Thursday, and I am tempted to do a special stream for X-Plane, and that stream I am planning something, the forgotten general aviation aircraft of X-Plane 12. Now, X-Plane has a number of excellent general aviation aircraft. They don't get that much exposure, though. The reason being, most flight simmers prefer airliners. And of course, with the migration with a lot of the content creators over to the Microsoft Sim flight platform, I think even the exposure has become less and less with time. And there are some really, really excellent general aviation aircraft, very high fidelity, lots of fun, very realistic in terms of how they handle. So I'm really tempted to do a stream dedicated to general aviation aircraft where we load different aircraft that are general aviation, of course, such as, the ones from the Flight Air, Airfoil Labs, Aerobasque, and Captain Iceman, and take a look at the various general aviation aircraft, and I can tell you which are the ones I highly recommend or I regard as quote-unquote must-have for X-Plane 12. That's sounds like a fantastic stream idea. Well, then let's do it, Stan. And thanks again, Stan, for the lovely pictures that you've sent through the Discord channel. Appreciate it. Hi Kuwait, great stream. As always, I need your feedback. I want to purchase an A321neo. Would you recommend Tolis, FS Labs, or wait for Phoenix? Well, both Tolis and FS Labs are excellent. Okay, if you already have X-Plane, of course, I would say, look, if you are worried about visuals, if the visuals make a difference to you, then I'd say go with the FS Labs if you have Microsoft Flight Sim. It has much better visuals than the Tolis A321neo in X-Plane, but it's not bad. The visuals in the A321neo in X-Plane are not bad. They're much better than their A330. But let me tell you this: if you are concerned more with the flight model, the A321neo by Tolis has the best fly-by-wire implementation of all three. So it's better than the Phoenix, it's better than FS Labs. It is by far the best fly-by-wire implementation. So in terms of flying the aircraft, you will get a lot more rewarding experience with the Tolis A321. But if you want something that is balanced, that looks really good, and flies well as well, the fly-by-wire on the FS Labs is very, very well done as well, I have to say. But yeah, the Tolis is slightly better in terms of the fly-by-wire implementation. And it is a more authentic aircraft, I think, in terms of the system simulation. But the FS Labs is, again, a high-fidelity representation, study-level simulation, really, of the A321neo. So you can't really go wrong with either one. I did buy Airflow Labs 172, and it didn't have plane in download center, and I can't download it. I don't recommend buying it. It was just my experience. Oh, really? That's very strange. Did you download the? So when you download the control panel for the Airfoil Labs, they have their own control panel. You go there and you say you want to download the Airfoil Labs A320, the Airfoil Labs 172, and then it will ask you to put in the serial number, and then that's it. That's pretty much it. No worries, VFAS. You're most welcome, my friend. All right, so we are now flying in close proximity to Saudi Arabia. As a matter of fact, if we go to en route here, and I also like this here, so we are definitely flying. So this is Bahraini airspace, but I do like the fact that you can change this, so you can go to world night here, and then world day, and then you have that. You can zoom out if you want. There we go. So let's zoom out a little bit. So this is Bahrain, and this is, again, we are now flying in close proximity to Saudi Arabia. So this is this is Saudi airspace. This is definitely Saudi airspace. So Saudi Arabia is to our left now, and that's Kuwait. Al Khafji here is again on the borders. So we are very close now to our destination. You can also go to standard, right? So this is the regular map. You can go to IFR. IFR high night, you can change this to whatever you like, and then you can have also the VFR, which looks, pretty cool. Let's add here. Again, a little bit too cluttered, so I like to go maybe for world night, and that's you can leave it there. It's very, very good implementation. Their EFB is really, really very well thought of. You've got your terminal charts there as well. So you can, again, type your airport and get the data. Landing performance is another thing that you have. So I can sync here the FMS and sync all the weather, landing technique manual, brake mode is medium, and then you can compute that, and now you have all the data there for you, which is, again, pretty cool. We've seen this one, we've seen the operational flight plan, we've seen our load sheet, we've seen all the rest of it. So yeah, overall, very, very nice aircraft. You've got your maintenance there as well. You've got your hydraulics there, our oil. You can service the hydraulics, service the engines, replace the tires, replace brakes, all that good stuff. Got the status of your battery. Very, very cool. Yeah. And by the way, if you want to set the... If you go here and click there, you can actually select the runway condition. So there's dry, there's, you know, wet, good, snow. So again, very, very in-depth aircraft. Of course, we are doing dry. And then you will see that it's noted here. You can see landing at 15 right, dry runway. So very, very detailed aircraft and very in-depth in terms of the system simulation. Very good work, really, by iniBuilds. Does the display on the far right do anything? Display on the far right. This one here. And by the way, if we go here to STS or status, you'll get it here. Again, you can see normal. This one does definitely have this, that ECAM memo. You'll see everything here. But I'm not sure if you meant this one far right or this one. By the way, the HUD heads-up display, or the HUD, is coming soon. You can see it modeled here, and you can see that you can change the brightness of the HUD, but at this point it's still work in progress. It's coming very soon, according to what I learned through reading through the forums. So yeah, that's something that's gonna I'm not very excited about it because I don't like the HUD, but yeah, it's definitely coming. So for those of you who like far right, near the joystick. Near the joystick. I really am not sure which display. Sorry, I'm really not sure which display you're referring to. HUD ID is amazing. If it shows you the FPV, you can see exactly where you're aiming. Yeah, yeah, some people do like it. I personally don't. I contacted X-Plane support and I wanted my money back for buying the 727. Yeah, it doesn't work yet with X-Plane 12. Right, so we are actually getting pretty close, about 57 nautical miles to top of descent. And we have everything set up and ready. Let's go back to flight ops plan. Why don't we have everything loaded here? Strange, huh? Should load everything. I guess you can generate the plan here. Yeah, well, we'll leave that one alone. Okay. One of the other nice features in this iniBuilds is the autosave feature here. So this is here. So I do have, so you have all of these custom saves here. It's automated, so it will save at regular intervals, which is very good. So in case you encounter a crash, you can always come here and click on one of these and it will restore the flight for you, which is pretty cool. I agree, HUD makes your mental glide slope or descent disappear after a while. My runway condition display won't work. Oh, really? Are you on 2020 or 2024? All right, we are looking good. And just before we begin the descent, I'm going to turn on landing system. There There we go. That is set. We have the ILS frequency here, which is 111.30. And all is looking good. We already entered all the approach information, so we're ready for our arrival. All right. Strobe light, not very well done. Can't really see it, can you? Unless it's really, really dark. You can't really see the strobes. You can see a little bit of a flicker, but yeah, very difficult to see it. Are you using adaptive mode in lossless scaling? So let me bring this up so you guys can see it. So this is what I'm using here in lossless scaling. LSG 3.1 mode is fixed, multiplier is 3, flow scale is all the way down here, performance is off, scaling is off, mode is auto. Obviously this is all in-op because this is off. Rendering sync mode is default, maximum frame latency is 1, HDR support and G-Sync support are both off because I've turned off G-Sync on my monitor. I have the clip cursor on and the scale cursor are also on, and we have the preferred GPU to auto, output display is auto, and that's it. Behavior multiplay display no, because I don't have a multi-display, and that is all it. VLS 742 is good but hard. I think Flight Factor 777 would be a better choice. Well, Felis is a difficult aircraft to fly. It takes a little bit of learning, but very, very rewarding once you get used to it. How do you think MSFS 2024 is coming along after its release? Well, it is coming along, slowly but surely. But considering the hype that preceded the release of Microsoft Flight 2024 has made this more of a disastrous release, in my opinion. And all this work, talk about compatibility is out the window. No backward compatibility. Still, developers are struggling to port their add-ons to Microsoft Flight 2024. The streaming of data is not something I really like. It is just a very limiting thing. The overall stability has significantly improved over the past few updates from Sim Update 1, Sim Update 2, and I hear that's very good things about Sim Update 3. But considering how, the experience of Microsoft and Asobo with 2020, I expected a much, much better sim. Ground physics are still very much a problem. The flight model is really not all that great in 2024, especially during takeoff and landings in some aircraft, not all of them, but most of them. And the developers obviously struggle as well to make their add-ons compatible with the sim for one, but also tweak the flight model to make it as realistic as possible. And there are a lot of limitations in 2024 when it comes to that. So overall, yeah, it's much improved from when it was originally released. Is it in a is it in a state where I am happy with it? I am happy with it. I am enjoying the high fidelity aircraft from PMDG, from iniBuilds, FS Labs, Phoenix, FSS. So yeah, definitely enjoying it, but I really am still in. I still feel the bitterness. I am very. I do have a more preference for X-Plane, to be honest, especially in 12.2, 2.0. Stan, I'm glad to see your handle back to Stan. I don't believe they had any presence at FS Expo. Sadly, I couldn't find anyone from Asobo Studio to ask about what was coming, particularly an improved replay tool. Just waiting to buy this airplane. It's getting better. It's like worth the money. The iniBuilds, yes, I think it's definitely worth its money. When it first came out, I think it had numerous issues, which rendered the price way too high for the value it provided, considering all the issues it had. But I think since then, I think the team over at iniBuilds have worked very hard to improve the aircraft and bring the fidelity to a level that justifies the price of the aircraft. Right, let's go ahead and begin the descent. We're going to do a... I need to reset my altitude first. So I believe it's 2,000 feet. There we go. And we'll do a nav descent. Now the difference again between nav descent and open descent is that during a nav descent, all the constraints as far as the altitude is concerned will be respected, and speed as well will be respected by the flight management computer. If you do an open descent, then the aircraft will continue to descend exactly the dialed altitude here, and it will ignore any restrictions along the way. Let's set this to 40, and we are now descending towards our final destination. It's going to be a very nice turn, right turn towards the airport from the seaside, so that will give us the ability to fly over Kuwait City, and it should be a really nice approach into 15 right at our destination. It's very good, but still has some issues, such as some freezes and poor performance. I like it though. Yeah, and I think those performance issues will continue to exist for a little while longer, if you ask me. But overall, the iniBuilds is a very advanced simulation of the A350. Hey, Nary P.
Good afternoon. Was looking for you at Expo.
Oh, hello, my friend. Welcome, Narapi. Glad to have you here. I'm sorry I did not make it to FS Expo this year. So yeah, hopefully next year I'll be able to make it, but I was not able to make it this year, unfortunately. V Pilot. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Yeah, it is definitely a lot of fun. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for the scenery. I will be making a flight in Brazil to show that wonderful airport of yours, so thank you for that, and I will plan it definitely in the days to come. Probably after I get back from the UK, I will definitely do a stream and showcase your airport. Thank you again very much. I really do appreciate it. Likewise, my friend. Likewise. Yeah, FS Expo is probably every flight simmer's dream to be there. It's just full of all the gadgets and the software and your favorite content creators, and yeah, there's a lot of very big toys there for us to enjoy. And as the as the saying goes, the difference between men and boys is the prices of their toys. Very expensive toys there for us, but. Mr. Dalal Al Hajri, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. I've got a 3080 Ti i7 132 GB RAM. Somehow I get 30 FPS with the A350 and weird freezes sometimes. Frame drops till 20. Is that the plane issues? This plane, Dalal, has a requirement for FPS for compute. It is a very, very resource-hungry aircraft, but I do recommend that you get lossless scaling. Because if you are getting 30 FPS natively, you can very easily boost that up to 60 FPS with only $7. I am using lossless scaling right now, and I'm boosted to 3 times. So I'm getting 51, and I'm getting with lossless scaling 160 FPS. That's insane. And you can see how smooth the sim is. And even during, now, you know, we're getting to dusk, and there is no artifacts at all. Here, again, this is the outside, and you can see that there are no artifacts whatsoever. The sim is running smooth as butter. I like it more than the frame generation, the native frame generation of a Microsoft Flight Sim. So I highly recommend that you get lossless scaling, even if you don't have you know, a 4090. Lossless scaling will do the job. I love it in X-Plane, and I'm starting to really like it in Microsoft Flight Sim as well. I think it's better than the native frame generation. I will be making a video that will release sometime next week. I will not be available to comment on that video because I will be away traveling, but what I'll do is I will make it I'll schedule it to release midweek so that I'm not away from you guys for too long. Yeah, I'll be thinking about you guys, actually. You've been making a lot of my nights very memorable as I stream for you. So yeah, I'm very thankful for this hobby. I'm very thankful for all the support from you guys. And quite honestly, I never ever in my wildest dreams imagined that I would get to this number of following on YouTube. But I'm very glad I started this 10 years ago, and I think it's been a very rewarding experience, both in terms of learning from the community and giving something back as well. It messes up when switching windows. It doesn't. The only thing that I get, so let me, for example, if I go to Navigraph charts, the only thing that doesn't work now is, so I have something called that Navigraph should be always on top so that when I do changes on the FMC, it doesn't go away. With lossless scaling, though, this doesn't work. So if I go here, it immediately minimizes the window. So that's the only mess up that it does, which is okay because I already have all the information within the electronic flight bag. So I don't really mind much the fact that I am unable to have Navigraph on top, even with the option selected when lossless scaling is enabled. That's perfectly okay with me. All right, 13,000 feet. We're getting to the transition. Altitude. So we're gonna go here. Set to QNH. Set to 911. Altimeter is set, and we are now getting very close. This is called Burgan Field. Right there, that area is called Burgan Field. We are entering Kuwaiti airspace now. And this real-world operations Qatar Airways Flight 1070 service from Doha to Kuwait. I do have it, but sometimes when I look around, it breaks and FPS drops till 10 and gets stuck there till I start. I do love lossless scaling for other aircraft. I think, Talal, what is happening is your FPS is dropping below 30 in this case. So one of the requirements for lossless scaling is that you get at least 30 FPS natively. If you can achieve that steadily, then you'll be just fine. But maybe sometimes when you're spinning around or doing like a camera span or something, or panning, sorry, camera panning, maybe your FPS drops below that, and then lossless scaling, because lossless scaling uses AI to generate the frames. If it goes below 20, it's not going to have sufficient frames to generate additional ones. And that's when it waits for additional frames to come, and it doesn't have sufficient frames, and then it, you know, freezes and eventually maybe also breaks the sim. Wait until you see the Navigraph next update. It has interactive taxiways that include taxi hold points. That's one. Wow, really? Well, that's cool. That's really cool. You know, Stan, now you are the expert. Yeah, you just came out of FS Expo. You have all the good info for us. Right, we're reaching 10,000 feet, folks, so landing lights going on, and we're going to turn on the taxi or nose lights to takeoff lights. Let's turn on the wing lights, why not? And we're going to put all these on. We'll leave the mobile on auto. Emergency lights are armed. All right, so we're good here. And let's see. All's good. Right, we're below 10,000 feet and below 250 knots. So that's perfect. And here we are arriving into Kuwait. Again, very, you know, a very boring scenery in this part of the world. It's all desert. There are a few nice places. That's the airport, by the way. But we're going to go all the way there and make the turn and come back. So we'll be able to see Kuwait City. But Kuwait has a spectacular landscape at night. With all the city lights, it looks absolutely gorgeous. So that's our turn. You can see this is the transition, Iveta. So at Iveta, we'll make the right turn to intercept the localizer for 15 right. We can see the airport there as well, and we should be able to see traffic as well from Just Flight as well at the airport. Maybe we can catch something flying off the airport right now. Maybe not. But yeah, we should be able to see the traffic once we arrive there. So do you guys want me to record the replay, record the approach and landing so that we can take a look at the replay? If so, then I'm more than happy to do that. You are from Kuwait, right? Yes, sir. I am from Kuwait. That would be cool if Navigraph taxiways would integrate with X-Plane ATC automatically. Ooh, that would be something. And I think developers should start working together. I see a lot of... I do like the competition, but I think in a lot of situations, a lot of scenarios warrant developers working together on add-ons and bringing yet more immersion for us flight simmers. Can you show me your lossless scaling settings? I've shown that earlier, but Dalal, your wish is my command, my friend. There you go. So these are my settings. LFSG 3.1, fixed, multiplier 3, flow scale is all the way to the right, performance is off, capture API is WGC, Q target 1, rendering is default sync mode, 1 for the maximum frame latency, auto here for the GPU and display, and the rest here you can see it. So that's it. These are my settings. Sure, let's watch the landing replay. All right. We'll definitely do that then. Let's go ahead and decrease the range here to 20 nautical miles. And we can see we've passed already the 20 nautical mile ring. And now we are into the 10 nautical mile ring. And the aircraft will... There is restriction there, 200 knots and 3,000 feet. So we're looking good here. And that's the airport to our right. This, by the way, this scenery of Kuwait International and City is free of charge. This is a freeware scenery that is probably the best freeware scenery that I have personally used for Microsoft Flight Sim, both 2020 and 2024. The only freeware airport that I believe competes with this one is the Gatwick Airport, which is again a very, very accurate and high quality rendition of Gatwick Airport. Which is totally free. It's crazy. I mean, these guys really develop the scenery to a great level of detail. It actually is better than some of the payware airports available today. But yeah, I really, really like this. Of course, being my, home country airport, it has a special meaning for me. But I think you've watched also Captain Canada has flown to this airport a couple of times, and he was very impressed with the fidelity of this scenery. Very, very good work by a guy by the name of Yahya. So a very, very good airport and a very accurate rendition of Kuwait with a lot of landmarks as well throughout the country. You can see the Kuwait City there. So if I zoom in here, and you will notice that large tower there is Al Hamra Tower, very, very famous tower in Kuwait. And Kuwait Towers is right over there. You can't see it because it's right behind that tower, so it's kind of blocking the view of the tower. Oh, right there. You can see Kuwait Towers now, right over there. It's very, very small. You can see the two huge balls there, but you'll be able to see it once we make the turn towards the airport there. So we should be able to have a better look at the city. All right, let's configure our speed brakes, and we're going to go to auto brake to medium. And now we can see, again, we can see the city a little bit better. Nice lights as well as we arrive into Kuwait International Airport. Wycliffe Barrett, welcome aboard. Sorted the data strip for Elevatics. It was a case of starting Elevatics after X-Plane was loaded up. No mention of this on all the videos that I watched. Yeah, I understand. I've had some issues with it as well. But yeah, it works just fine now. Yeah. Always a pleasure to have you, Wycliffe. Right, there's an altitude restriction, as you can see. What is the altitude there? Oof, what did I do here? All right, so it's 2,000. Yeah. So as you can see, there is a restriction, and because we are in nav descent, it will respect that restriction until we clear the restriction. Then the aircraft will descend to 2,000. You'll see that we are going to fly outside of the 10 nautical mile range. I think we can go to flaps 1. Speed check, flaps 1. And once we clear that, we'll be able to descend further to 2,000. There's a restriction there at 3,200 feet. And so the autopilot system is going to respect that because we are in managed descent mode. Here's a look here again at this rather beautiful view here of Kuwait City as we arrive, ladies and gents, to our destination. Now we can see have a better look there at the city. Very, very nice. We're going to switch this now to 10 nautical miles. No, 10. There we go. And this is we're flying near the Kuwait Free Trade Zone and the port. So it looks like some things were loading. You saw that the FPS went down and then it recovered again. And that's probably, Talal, what is happening with you. When this goes below 20, that's when lossless scaling will probably freeze. So hopefully we won't get this today. But overall, I like it a lot better than the native frame gen of Microsoft Flight Sim. Speed 180 before capturing the localizer or straight to flaps 2. Well, there is a restriction there. So we are going to respect the restrictions that we have in the MCDU. As you can see here, there is a restriction 3,200. So I think we can go to 180 now. So let me come over here and I will say activate the approach, confirm, and now we can go definitely to 180 and go to flaps 2. And let's see here. All right, now we can see the city a little better. There we have the runway there. So I'm going to come over here and we are going to... Alright, so now I'm going to go to flaps 2. I'm going to select gear down. And we're going to go to approach. There we go. There you can see the Kuwait City now. You can see Alhambra Tower, Kuwait Towers right over there. As we make the turn towards the runway, speed check, flaps 3. A little bit of stuttering there. Hopefully it won't ruin our approach, though. And there's a look there at Kuwait City to our left. I don't like, by the way, the night lighting in Microsoft Flight Sim. I think it's horrible. All right, let me bring up the FCR, and we're going to say record. Let's click on record. That's fine, and we'll put this here on the side so it doesn't bother us. And speed check, flaps full. Right, and let's go to cabin crew, seats for landing. All right, looking good. Look at that, guys. Very, very nice indeed. There is the Kuwait port right there. You can see the big tankers here. And this is the free trade zone. All right, we're looking good here. I haven't tried the beta, no. All right, we're looking good. 2,000 feet.
2,000.
Right, and cabin. There we go. Cabin is ready. And landing checklist. Signs are on. Cabin's ready. Landing gear is down. Flaps are landing flaps. Ground spoiler is armed. And there are no blues. And the before landing checklist is complete. You did very smooth flight with the A350, thankfully. We're almost there now, folks. Very nice.
1,000.
1,000. And let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. My aircraft.
Five hundred. 400. 300. 200. 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 100 above, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kuwait International Airport. Reverse green. 80 knots. And manual braking. And we'll take the next taxiway. How about that, guys? I hope you enjoyed that. Alright, where is the next taxiway? I think we need to go a little bit further down and make the turn. Alright, let's do our replay real quick. And then, let's see, let's stop the recording here. And we're going to say play. Alright, we don't want to do the full. So I think right here is good. There we go. Let's put that away. And let's take a look. Wow, look at that, guys. That's the Liberation Tower right there. This looks really nice, I have to say. And we do, by the way, have flyby camera. I'm not sure where the fly camera is, so we'll just leave it there. I must have played with the settings there, so alright, we'll just leave it right there. The famous Jabber Stadium. Lovely. Not bad. Not a bad landing. Thank you very much, Stan. Glad you enjoyed it. And we'll do it one more time. And this time we'll do it with a wing view. So let me go to this one. No, I don't want that one either. That's the one I want. We're going to put the camera a little back. And there we go. And here is another replay of the wing view for your viewing pleasure, ladies and gents, as we arrive into Kuwait International Airport. That was a really fun flight, and the handling of the aircrafts, the manual landing and hand flying the aircraft has improved significantly. Look at how beautiful this airport is here. Freeware scenery, crazy. Look at that. Very, very nice indeed. Look at that wing flex, guys. Very nice. Very nice details there. Lovely. Just lovely. All right. Why is it not going? There we go. Finally. And what I'll do here is take it all the way there as they take control of the plane. All right. The flaps can go up. Spoilers disarmed. And there is our exit there from the runway. Let's go to taxi lights, landing lights off, wing lights off, strobes to auto, and let's start the APU. That was a really pleasant flight from Doha to Kuwait. Always a pleasure flying into your own home airport. Yeah, I really don't like the night lighting in Microsoft Flight Sim, so I prefer to fly during daytime in Microsoft Flight Sim. Right, let's stop the clock. About 1 hour since we started the clock. Right, we cleared the error message that we've had there. And we'll find a spot right somewhere near the main terminal. We came from the other side, so 15 right allows us to come on the that's where the by the way, the Kuwait Airways terminal is. So, and that little dome that you see there, that's the VIP airport, or the Emiri airport as it's called. So that's like for the VIPs and what have you. We could have gone a little further, but that's okay. There's an area there to park the aircraft, so we're not going to go to the main terminal. Now, in reality, this aircraft will go to the main terminal for Terminal 2, but I think the scenery doesn't cater for, you know, those aircraft for some reason. So we'll just park in the bigger area here. We'll have more space to park the aircraft. I don't see any traffic though. We should have some traffic from FS traffic. Alright, so this is the area. You see these lights here. So this is where we're going to bring the aircraft to a complete stop somewhere, maybe this parking spot here. And we should have now, so we'll turn on the APU bleed. We could actually go to this part of the terminal as well, but yeah, we'll just do it here. Not a very good parking, but it'll pass. All right, let's set the parking brake. Parking brake set. And now that we have the APU running, we can go ahead and turn off the engines. Excellent. Perfect, and we can go now beacon off. And next we go to GSX.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
And request deboarding.
The boarding requested.
There we go.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
All right, so there we go. And deporting has now started. And looks like Kuwait Airways, we have the correct livery here coming to service the aircraft. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Time to swap to MSFS. Is it the right time to swap to MSFS 2024? I'd say wait until Sim Update 3 is out there and ready and tested and maybe reviewed by the community, and then I think it would be the time for you to swap over and completely remove 2020. But I just say wait just a little bit further before you make the jump.
Passengers bus is
A lot of the add-ons will still not work, by the way, in 2024, so this is work in progress. But overall, ladies and gents, I really enjoyed flying this iniBuilds A350 today from Doha to Qatar. Definitely the scenery from iniBuilds for Doha has added to the immersion of the overall experience. We've seen FS traffic in action. It is, though, not showing any traffic here in Kuwait. I've seen, by the way, some intermittent issues with FS traffic where the traffic is not loaded. So I think the program still needs a little bit of refinement before it is fully immersive. So if you have FS traffic by Just Flight, by all means, go ahead and install it and try it out. If you, however, do not have it, I do not recommend that you get it at this point until it's ironed out and that more people have used it and all of the issues are ironed out, so that you can enjoy it and get the full value for your money. Overall, the iniBuilds aircraft has come a long way since its release, and now it's really in a position where it is performance-wise, it's much better. So it works really, really well. The FPS is much better now than when it was first released, and definitely the depth of system simulation warrants its current ask price without a doubt. It still needs work, so it's not 100%, but I think it's in a much, much better state than when it was originally released. Well, guys, thank you very, very much for joining me this evening for this live stream. I will be live streaming again on Thursday. I'll be taking a few days here to relax, and then I'll come back again on Thursday. I will not be streaming all of next week, but I promise that I will create a video for you guys that will release midweek, and then I will see you again as usual the following Sunday for another live stream. We are going to be streaming X-Plane on Thursday, and I'm going to dedicate the stream to some of the real forgotten jewels of general aviation aircraft for X-Plane 12. But until then, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.